This is the Joe Wentz Project Podcast, where guitars still live and breathe, and the classics stay alive and well. While you're here, don't forget to check out the links below for info on where to get yourself a t-shirt and other apparel. Thanks for stopping by. And now, on with the show.
Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you may be right now listening to this. This is the Joe Wentz Project Podcast, where I talk about music and just, whatever. It doesn't matter. We just talk about anything or whatever that's been going on, or, work-related, or just whatever I feel like talking about, so to share with you, the loyal listener who is tuning into this right now. So thank you very much. I guess it's safe to say right now that this is a mobile podcast, because you can hear in the background these road conditions I'm driving on, are these lovely roads here in South Carolina, which is just, pathetic to say the least. It's just, oh God. So for any outside noises or disturbances because of that, I do apologize. But what's been happening today? I'm just getting off work, to tell you the truth. It is like 10 minutes after midnight. And so it's officially Monday, and I'm going home. So yeah, I just thought I'd share a couple of things with you for a few minutes. And, I appreciate your time. Wow, I tell you what, when I have to bring a trailer back to the dairy over here, I haul milk for a living. And they have this little guard shack. It's a really small guard shack. And the man that owns the company, he hires kids, basically. It's I won't get into too much detail about it. I think it's just kind of weird how this guy does. I don't know. But he's probably the man that owns the security company, I'm thinking he's probably like in his late 50s, early 60s or something. Chain smoker. And I don't know. He just, I don't know. But anyway, these guys that he hires, some of them are pretty cool, these kids. Some of them are pretty cool. There's a few of them that work there that have some common sense. There's this one guy, this one boy, he's probably in his early to mid-20s, I'd say. He's done worked here and quit or got fired a few times. He's go. And why this man that owns the security company hires these guys back is beyond me. I guess because nobody else wants to work there. I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. But this one boy, he's like, he tries to be by the book about everything, which to a degree that's good. But sometimes he just goes overboard with stuff. And it's like, really, dude? So it's Sunday, and we usually get fuel during the week for our tractors and trailers and all that. But on Sunday, you can't get fuel because the fuel island at Penske, where we get our tractors and all that stuff, we park our personal vehicles every day. On Sunday, that Penske is closed, so the fuel island's closed. There's nobody there. So I'm coming back tonight. I pull, into the property on the dairy and go pull it to the guard shack, and they, where you coming from and all that. Tell them where you coming from. And there's two guys in there about the same age. And that one guy I told you, who's been there and left and come back like 3 times, he's there. He just recently started working here again, like I think last week. And I was like, oh boy. Well, he's there. And the other guy is taking down information on the clipboard. Well, the other guy that's quit and come back 3 times, his name's Josh. Let's just put it, it just makes it easier. So Josh, he tells the other guy, goes, I'll check his fuel on the trailer, because these trailers have a fuel tank, because it, has a refrigeration unit on the front of the trailer, keeps the milk cold. Well, when I brought that trailer back, it's on fumes. And of course, I cut the unit off coming back, because there's nothing on the trailer when I, brought it back. He looks at the fuel and he goes, whoo, man, I don't know about that. He's shaking his head, And he walks up to me and goes, you can't buy. I said, look, man, it's Sunday, right? He goes, oh yeah, you're right, it's Sunday. Yeah. I said, you don't need to be by the book about everything, man. I know what I'm doing, you know. You're the one that's worked here and quit 3 different times. So, you know, come on now. So, he didn't say nothing. I just like, my goodness, man. He just, it's just crazy. It's crazy stuff. But, so yeah, it's just, you know, and you got one guy that works there. I don't even know his name. I don't know. Really, I don't care to know that boy's name. He's out to lunch, man. Coming there one night, and he's got his head on the desk like he's sleeping. It's supposed to be, you know, security, right? He's got his head down sleeping. And I don't know about this guy, man, because he, I don't know. He just kind of seems like he's out to lunch, man. I don't think he ever washes his clothes. I'm like, good God. You know, need to start calling him Pigpen or something. It's just kind of, I don't know, just kind of strange like that. But, you know, hey, man, different strokes for different folks. Who knows? But, yeah, I just got done onto a different subject here. I just got done with another audiobook today that I got last week. And I get my audiobooks from Audible. If you never tried Audible, give them a shot, man. You can get a 30-day free trial. And get you a free audiobook, and I'd done that a couple years ago. Well, let's see, long, 2 or 3 years ago, I did that and got my first audiobook. And when the 30 days was up, I canceled my thing, and you know, it don't cost nothing. But I joined, you know, went ahead and just joined. You don't have to pay by the month if you don't want to with Audible. It's, you know, you can just buy the audiobook at whatever the price is, and you don't have to, you know. But for every month, if you join Audible every month, they take, I don't know, it's like, what, $12 or $14 or something a month, and they give you a credit with that. Now, if you don't do that and you just want to buy an audiobook whenever you get ready, you know, the audiobook might cost $20, it might cost $10, it might cost $25, and you got to pay that full price. But if you're an Audible member and you pay that $14 a month or whatever, that's what you get the book for. So I think it's pretty cool, pretty cool deal myself. And the book I just got done with listening to rather is called Running with the Devil by Noel Monk. He used to be the manager for Van Halen. I think he started off as a road manager, and then he got promoted and became their manager. Some great stories in that book. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear anything about this, go ahead and stop this video now, because I'm going to tell a story about it. But there's a bunch of stories in there. So I'm just going by what I heard in the book. So, you know, this is just what I heard in the book. But there's, you know, if you follow Van Halen, or if you're a fan of Van Halen, or, you know, whatever, you know, in their early career, when they started going on the road, their first tour or two, they were, you know, opening up for some bands. Well, one of the big bills they got on was they were got on the bill with Journey and Montrose, and that was after Sammy had left. I thought that was wild, because, you know, Sammy Hagar was the original singer of Montrose, right? Well, this is after Sammy had left, so Van Halen was able to get on the bill with Journey, and Journey at that time was the headliner of that particular tour, because they were the bigger band. They had more albums, or, you know, it was their first album with Steve Perry, and it was really huge at the time. And so, one of the stories in the book I thought was pretty wild was they were in, like, a back dressing room or something, and I don't know exactly what prompted it, but some kind of food fight happened. And so something with guacamole was involved, and Eddie and all them were slinging guacamole everywhere, and somehow or another, the members of Journey was back there as well, and Eddie slung a big handful of guacamole, and it hit Steve Perry. Got all in his face and his hair. on his jacket and his shirt, and they were getting ready to take the stage. Apparently Van Halen had done already performed their set, and I guess Journey was getting ready to waiting for the stage crew to get everything changed over or whatever, and that happened. And Noel Monk, who became their manager, was notified about it, and he walked back there, and he walked into the dressing room and said that everybody was like sitting there like he walked in there and everybody was just silent, like the members of Van Halen, everybody was just silent and like had that look on their face like and he saw guacamole on the wall and on these like I guess these mirrors, like dressing mirrors, like when you get ready and got the lights around it or whatever the dressing room's back there, and I guess it was a mess. And so Noel Monk asked what happened, what's going on, and eventually it come out that they had that food fight had ensued or whatever, and he said, well, where's Steve Perry? And some of the guys motioned to the restroom. I think it's Dave Lee Ross said he's in the bathroom. And see, the reason why they were kind of scared and nervous about that is because when that happened, they thought they were going to get kicked off the tour because Journey was, like I said, the headliner. So they were like, everybody was like, oh man, we done messed up. They're going to kick us off the tour. Steve Perry's going to be pissed at Eddie Van Halen and all this stuff. So Noel Monk, from everything I've heard in this book, man, he was... I was like, wow, I never knew who Noel Monk was until I heard this book that he wrote. And I was like, man, he really went through a lot for Van Halen. Got them some big points and got them a really good record deal after that first deal was expired from their first album, because he said that first contract that they scored with Warner Brothers was really bad, from their old manager. It was pretty rough. The guys in Van Halen were young then, man. They weren't paying attention to stuff with contract. They just wanted to be signed and put out albums. But anyway, Noel Monk scored a lot of points for them, man, in a good way. He really went to bat for them a whole lot up until 1984, and then they let him go. But anyway, back to this story. So Noel Monk goes into the restroom that's located in that dressing room, and Steve Perry is looking in the mirror, and he's trying to I guess clean himself up or whatever. And Noel asked Steve, he goes, Steve, are you okay? And Steve Perry turned around and he just kind of said, look at me. I mean, he wasn't yelling or nothing like that. He was pretty calm, but he said it looked like Steve Perry was about to break down and cry. That's what it looked like on his face. He said it looked like his bottom lip was quivering and all this other stuff. And he said, look at me. I can't go out looking like this. Eddie ruined my jacket and my clothes. And so Noel Monk says, don't worry, man, calm down. We'll get you cleaned up. We'll get you another jacket. So Noel Monk went back there and helped him get cleaned up and everything else. And after, I guess, 15, 20 minutes or whatever, much time went by, it wasn't too long, that they came out of the dressing room, and Eddie Van Halen stood up and looked at Steve Perry and said, Steve, are you okay? Everybody was real serious, and he looked at Eddie and he said, yeah, I'm fine, man. No problem. Let's carry on like that. So to me, that just showed the class of Steve Perry as well. I was like, wow, man, that was cool, because Noel said in the book, he said, I thought we were gone. I thought he was going to kick us off the tour, but they didn't. So that's just one of the many, many stories that's in that book. It's a fantastic book, man. Running with the Devil by Noel Monk. Really, really awesome book. Something that I guess, it's kind of, I just really never thought about it that much, but I didn't realize Eddie had done that much cocaine. I mean, they all were doing some of that stuff, but Eddie did it a lot. Golly, I guess even when Sammy joined the group, well, I know it was when Sammy joined, because Sammy said in his book that sometimes him and Eddie would do a little bit of cocaine here and there, not a lot, and I was like, man, no wonder they were so slim all the time back then. They were doing all that coke, and it was just, wow. It was like, man. But great book, man, Running with the Devil. Like I said, man, get you a free 30-day trial at Audible and get that book, man. I mean, if anything, just get your free trial just for that book. If you're a Van Halen fan, that is a fantastic book. I think, what is that book about? I don't know, what is that, 11 or 12 hours long, something like that. So I drive for a living, so for me it was perfect. You know, I think I finished it in, like, I don't know, about 3 days. You know, I listened to some of it here and there, and then kind of take a break and come back and listen to it some more. Just phenomenal. Great book, man. Just fabulous. You know, I will say this, in my opinion, after listening to the book, you know, they kind of, just in my opinion, now this is Noel's story, so, you know, there's always two sides to every story, but, you know, from what I heard in the book, I think they kind of did Noel Monk wrong at the end there. He said when they got rid of him in 1984, he said he never seen or spoke to the guys in Van Halen again, even to this day. I was like, wow, man, that's kind of sad. But yeah, check it out, man. If you want something really good to listen to, an audiobook, Running with the Devil. So as for me, I think that's going to wrap it up for me on this quick podcast. I'm heading home, going to go home and get settled in for the night, get relaxed, maybe get a quick bite to eat, and I'm going to bed. So thank you so much for listening, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic night, day, afternoon, whatever it is, where you're at, whatever time of day it may be. And we'll catch you next time. Take care, everybody. Peace out.